country has been seeing this uptick in COVID-19 cases, and in other socioeconomic aspects, we are still under the shadow of the pandemic. Busan City in particular has been struggling to recover from the pandemic. And our city is structurally more vulnerable to these economic hits, given our high ratio of self-employed persons and, of course, the elderly. COVID itself is in the endemic phase, but the struggles that began from this pandemic still have not reached their end. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Tuesday, August 20th on befm, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. I hope you're all doing well. And I don't know about you, but this morning, my goodness, I was surprised at the amount of rain. There was thunder and lightning as well. I hope you're all doing okay, and let us know how you're doing. Our top story this morning, though, is all about the city's economy, especially how the more vulnerable population in Busan has been faring. What this means is that the number of those on basic welfare or 기초수급자 has hit a new high. In Busan, a little over 7% of the entire Busan population is on basic welfare, and that's the second highest out of all 17 municipal cities and provinces. So about 46% of this population is made up of senior citizens, although there are over 14,000 basic welfare recipients between the ages of 19 and 29 as well. Experts say that the high rate of self-employed people and business owners, that this also leads to this phenomenon of high basic welfare recipients. And that is because small businesses are more sensitive to economic stagnation. We'll get to the city's responses and efforts to kind of soften this blow in a bit. For now, though, we're going to turn to our text topic for this morning. Well, we're going to talk about this later on in hour number 2, but let's get your take on this. Stickers, signs, decals. Do you decorate, for example, your car? Maybe, whether it's on your bumper or like rear window, your car, your phone, your computer, or even your door. Do you use any of that? Stickers, signs, decals, or do you prefer plain surfaces? 자, 차에 스티커, 문에 달기, 노트북, 폰, 꾸미기 등 여러분은 물건 꾸며서 쓰시는지 아니면 순정으로 쓰시는지요? 네, 집 방문에도 다는 사람 있을 거예요. Like on your door, you might like decorate your door a certain way, or maybe you just like it really plain, simple, the way it is. So that's what we're talking about. Decorating with anything, whether it's stickers or little signs, decals. Let us know your preferences. You can send in your responses to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. So go to that platform, search for BEFM or 부산영어방송. You subscribe. You do have to log in, and then you can chat away with our other waivers on your phone. pound 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free on our KakaoTalk channel. Same thing, search for BEFM or 부산영어방송. You can check us out on YouTube. Once again, YouTube, real time, or watch and listen at your leisure. Also available on the Patbang app. Looking ahead to our Tuesday morning together, we have Andrew. He's back with Sports Insider. And then we have Bonnie with The Health. For today's special interview, we're going to be focusing on this topic, microplastics. How can we coexist with microplastics? Because obviously, it's very difficult to get rid of them altogether. Is this possible? Let's find out in hour number 2 with our expert. I'll be back with today's headlines. The time is now 7:05, and these are today's headlines. Typhoon 종다리 brings rainfall to southern regions. The 9th typhoon of the year, 종다리, is expected to reach the waters south-southwest of Seogwipo by 9 a.m. this morning, as rain is already coming down in the southern regions, expected to expand to the central regions by late afternoon. PPP and DP leaders to meet Sunday for first talks. Ruling party chair Han Dong-hoon and Democratic Party's newly elected chair Lee Jae-myung will hold their first official talks on Sunday as they voice the need to seek ways to improve people's livelihoods. Banks to raise interest rates to curb household debt. Major commercial banks will raise their lending rates on mortgage loans by between 0.1 percentage point and 0.3 percentage points this week amid a spike in household loans. COVID patients expected to reach 350,000 by end of August. The Disease Control Authority say that the government has begun supplying additional COVID treatment drugs and that pharmacies nationwide will have enough drugs by the end of this month. Netanyahu tells Blinken he supports U.S. ceasefire proposal. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu supports the ceasefire proposal by the U.S. for a truce and a hostage swap. These are today's headlines. Let's say good morning to Haley. Hi, how are you?
Good morning. A little sore.
Sore from the hike?
No. Actually, I upped my weights for my chest press yesterday, so I think I'm sore. And then it's the rain.
The rain?
Yeah.
You're so young. What do you mean you're sore from the rain?
I don't know. It's still like the weights and like the pressure from the moisture. I know. I'm like really looking forward to my 60s. Yeah.
Hey, so we're talking about like stickers, decals, decorating. Do you decorate? None of that.
Not really.
Plain?
I mean, I do have my phone case, which by the way, I got for free from a friend. So this is it's way brighter than what I usually go for.
It's already kind of decorated though. You don't need to add to that.
Yeah, it's very decorated, but my laptop, it's just very plain. And then so I have a very like the famous lightweight laptop that it's 4 letters, starts with G, and it's like a RAM. But those are stickers. I didn't know that. But the sticker fell off. So the G of my, the laptop fell off. So my dad's like, what's a RAM? And I'm like, what do you mean? I had no idea. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, your laptop. I didn't know, that brand made a RAM.
RAM.
Like, oh, I guess it's a RAM now.
Dad, it's time for a new one.
Yeah.
Buy me one.
Yeah.
Look how simple mine is. Like, clear.
Exactly. And our
old
BFM. Old merch.
I'm such a... 너무 착하지 않아요?
At least you don't have the mom case, like the wallet, the foldable leather.
Hello. No, I don't go that far. No. All right, we're going to jump into our first update. The residents of Kamcheondong are demanding that a shipyard in the area relocate due to the alleged harm that this has caused to their health.
Right. So the people of Kamcheondong in Sa district, they live near this Dongil shipyard, and they've launched a committee to start getting signatures for a petition to move the company out of their neighborhood. So this is because in the latest residents' health checkup, 20% of the 300 residents that live there were told that they actually need to get a full checkup for asbestos. So that's 성면.
Yes.
So the shipyard has been in operations for ship repair since the 70s, and it has been designated by the city of Busan as a suspected asbestos damage region.
Right.
So asbestos, it was used as an insulator inside ships, and when you kind of cut it open to fix, especially the old vessels, they can go airborne and float into the village. And of course, South Korean ships do not use them, no longer use them, but because they're also getting repairs from other countries, there is still risk of that.
Indeed. So how many residents have been confirmed to have asbestos-related issues?
Well, here's another problem, because in order get a confirmation, you need a full checkup at the designated hospital. In this case would be the Busan National University's Yangsan Hospital.
Okay.
They have an asbestos center. But because of most of the suspected patients are older, they're in their 70s or older, and they don't really drive, it's hard for them to trek all the way out there. And even now, according to the center, only 28 out of the 61 people who do qualify for this full checkup have shown up.
Yes.
And actually, the center is even fully booked until November, so this may take time.
Yes, indeed. So thanks for reporting on this, because asbestos is no laughing matter. All right, next up, the Baptist Hospital in Kumjeonggu declared bankruptcy some years ago, right? We talked about this. The property is now owned by the city, but there's a bit of a headache as now. How are they going to proceed?
Right, so this is the 침례병원, and
Yes.
the ultimate goal is to use that building and use the property as a public hospital. But that's kind of ways off, a lot of red tape to cut through. And so this is why actually Busan City bought the building back in 2022 after the hospital declared bankruptcy. But that also means because the city owns it, the city is responsible to pay for the maintenance and just the general upkeep to
Right.
get a building running, just prevent it from collapsing, basically. So how much does that cost? Well, it cost 494 billion won back in 2022, and last year, 906 billion won. And of course, that's taxpayer money. So that includes wages for there's a single maintenance staffer who lives there and takes care of it, but other staff that comes in for maintenance and checkups, basic utility costs and insurance because, well, the hospital generates no revenue.
Well, I hear that there have been some requests to use the building to film, right?
Right. So because it's an empty hospital, it could be used for filming, and it has received a dozen requests from various broadcasting companies and film companies.
Okay.
But because the facilities are old, there are maintenance and safety issues, the city has not been able to rent it at all. So that's potential revenue that's going unused. So this being a giant financial hole, there are calls for ways for the hospital to generate revenue if it's not going to be used as a hospital in the near future. And so to expedite the public hospitalization process as well.
I see. Well, thanks for letting us know the status of what's going on with the Baptist Hospital here. Let's move on, though, talk about Busan City opening up an infectious diseases portal as COVID cases. I mean, spiking, raging. I don't even know what verb to use.
Right.
But yes.
I mean, it has been high. So
Yes.
Busan City has opened an infectious disease information portal. So it shows confirmation rates for various major infectious diseases. We're looking at hepatitis A and C. So that's A형, C형, 간염, pertussis, measles, as well as information on COVID vaccinations and treatment drugs.
Yes.
So because COVID-19 is a level 4 infectious disease, they don't have confirmation numbers because we
Right.
no longer mass test them. However, you can get, once again, information on which pharmacies or which hospitals have COVID treatment drugs and whatnot.
Sure.
And you can get this information at busan.go.kr/BSI.
All right, good to know, /BSI. All right, now for some good news we needed. Medical tourism is a major part of the city's tourism industry, and it's getting a renewed boost with the popularity of K-beauty.
That's right. So medical tourism industry, it did see a bit of a significant drop during the pandemic years.
Sure.
People literally could not fly in. However, it's coming back strong, and this time thanks to beauty-related treatments like plastic surgery and dermatology. So according to the Korea Health Industry Development Institute, Busan City has had nearly 13,000 foreign patients, and that was a welcome rebound from a decline of COVID-19.
Yes.
So most popular is for patients from Japan, followed by Russia, China, the U.S., and Vietnam. And Jingu in particular had a record-breaking 4,200 patients this year, especially in the plastic surgery clinics that are congregated in the Seomin area.
Right.
Also, internal medicine and health checkups were a popular destination as well. So district government said that they're working on increasing PR to on-the-scene sites in Japan, Russia, China, and whatnot to bring more people in. And of course, the Seomin Medical Street Festival is going to take place this coming October.
Oh, that's coming up soon.
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Well, that's good for the city overall, right? So, all right. Lastly, Busan City welcomed back its Olympians in full style.
Right. So they had a red carpet welcome, a welcome reception for the Busan national team or the national national team members who work or who play for the city's various teams.
Yes.
So we're looking at 23 athletes who belong to professional teams in Busan that went to the Olympics. Collectively, they received 2 golds, 2 silvers, and 2 bronze medals. So we're looking at 5 Samsung Life Insurance badminton team members that are in Busan, including gold medalist An Se-young and Kim Won-ho as well. The fencers, Gu Bon-gil and Do Kyung-dong, are graduates of Dongi University.
That's
Of course,
right.
they won the men's gold and saber. So Mayor Park Hyung-jun said that these athletes, with their passion and dedication, they deeply inspired the people of Busan. And he also pledged active support for the athletes so they can show their talents on a global scale.
Indeed. So welcome back to all the Olympians, especially the ones who work or, represent Busan.
Right,
so
right.
thank you for that. All right, Haley, we'll check in with you real soon for news. Back to you, the listeners. It's all about stickers, signs, decals. Do you decorate your car? Or maybe even, like we talked about, like your phone, your computer, your door? Do you stick anything onto any surface? Or maybe you just like it plain, simple. 자, 차에 스티커, 문에 뭐 달기. 그래서 생각해봤어요. 어떤 방에 저 이제 조카 방에 봤는데 뭐가 엄청 많이 달렸어요. 뭐 꽃도 달려있고 뭐 스티커 달고 뭐 엄청 많이 이렇게 예쁘게 데코레이션 했는데 그렇게 하는 편인지 아니면 just, simple, 아무것도 붙이지 않는 편인지. That's what we're talking about today. So send us your responses and here's your traffic and weather. It is now 7:16 and here's your traffic and weather. There is an accident on Byeongno coming into the city right by the Mangmi ramp, and so that is causing some backup right now. It is congested on the Dongso overpass from Bumnikko ramp to the old Kaegum toll gate. Also looking slow on Luno Samsungdaedo from Myeongji underpass to Shinho bridge. Right now it is 28 degrees Celsius and raining in parts of the city. Rain is forecast throughout the entire day, with daytime highs expected to go up to 33 degrees regardless of the rain. Showers are coming down in Jeju and of course the southern region. The central region will see rain from this afternoon. So make sure you stay tuned to BFM plus all your local broadcasting for weather updates. This was your traffic and weather.
Are you an early bird? Are you up to date on the news? Are you a trendsetter? For all of the biggest issues from Busan to the world and useful information you need, right here on Morning Wave in Busan.
It is time for News Digest, and we're going to dive into our first news item with Haley. It's all about the 9th typhoon of the season. It is traveling north. So, is this why we're getting the rain? Is this the effect?
It is.
Okay,
that is why,
And
yes.
so, will this break the heat wave? I think that's a big question.
No. The heat wave is, it's not official, but it's just never going to end.
It's
We're
like
going to live in perpetual
impenetrable.
summer forever, it feels like. So the 9th typhoon, going back to the science,
Yes.
it has formed in the southwestern seas of Okinawa. It's expected, or it is currently traveling to the western coast of the Korean peninsula. Thus the heavy rain advisory that's in effect right now. So typhoons, they usually have a cooling effect. But this year, that usual equation has been thrown out the window.
Yes.
So the heat wave is actually overpowering the typhoon. And the typhoon is actually feeding into the heat wave by dragging the heat from down south and bringing it up to the Korean peninsula. So, so that's happening.
Yes.
So we've been breaking tropical night records in Busan, Seoul, and even Incheon City, and that unfortunately is likely going to continue. So the typhoon will bring showers, but that'll just add to the humidity as we are feeling that this morning. And that steam will cause kind of a greenhouse effect to trap the heat into the nighttime without letting it escape into the atmosphere.
That sounds bad.
What we feel is what we feel. Yeah.
So, How much further?
So usually, like colloquially, culturally, we look to Choseol. Like Choseol it's one of the 24 solar cycles.
Okay.
And that is when temperatures are supposed to basically really cool down considerably. Once again, all the usual rules are out the window.
Yes.
So even Choseol, which is scheduled, which will be on August 22nd, that won't break the heat. So it's going to be hot throughout this week. Even after this typhoon subsides later in the week, likely tomorrow evening, and the rain will stop by tomorrow or later in the week, the southwesterly winds will bring hot air, and that heat will continue throughout the end of the month, according to the weather agency. So the concern is, so as we had with their special expert interview last week, this might be the coolest summer that we will see in the future. So experts say that if we emit the same level of greenhouse gases, then South Korea will see about half of its year and summer months. So we will spend about 6 months in summer by the end of the 21st century. And the Korea Meteorological Administration, the KMA, says that because of what's been going on, it's actually going to publish its first ever heat wave white papers because the country has been going under this record-breaking heat. So the papers will come by the end of this year, and it'll cover the history, the causes of heat waves, provide mid to long-term forecasts, and examine the impact of the heat wave on society.
Yes. So basically, it's going to stay warmer for a bit longer. Excuse
Sadly,
me.
right? Like we're
Something
choking
caught in my
up,
throat.
right?
Yes.
It's like, the heat.
Yes.
So sad.
All right. Moving on. A lot of people sell or buy things on secondhand market platforms. I guess for some, this is actually a lucrative job.
It is a full out, just massive operation. So for the first time ever last year, the National Tax Service, or the NTS, they started handing out imposing comprehensive income taxes, 종소세, to sellers who had considerable trade volume on 당근, especially. So there were 379 people nationwide who were notified that they made enough that they need to pay taxes on their secondhand sales, collectively reported 17.7 billion won of income. And that means an average, let's just call them super seller, made 46.7 million won. 4,600만 원 on 당근.
Really?
In 1 year. Right.
That's like someone's like
It's a salary. It's a full out salary.
Okay.
It's like a average salary. And like I still have yet to sell a thing on 당근.
Yes.
Buy a ton. So actually top 10 individuals made an average of 225 million won, like 2억 won.
Wow.
Right. I'm like, that's a house.
How do you do that?
I mean, I know they sell homes on that platform.
Right,
I've
but-
seen it, but I'm like, how? So the thing is, this includes not only secondhand markets, but all open markets and electronic markets. So here's the thing, though. Lawmaker Park Sung-won, who released the figures, said that some companies, corporations, and sellers will use and have used secondhand markets as a form of tax evasion.
Oh, that's not
They will
good.
sell, right. They will sell new items on the platform disguises use and called on the tax authorities to really close down these tax loopholes.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, right.
Anybody
yeah.
that does that.
Pay your taxes.
Yes. All right, let's move on to some international news. The U.S. is gearing up for its Democratic National Convention with Kamala Harris already. Basically, it's, it's a given.
She has the delegates.
Yes.
Right. It's a big event.
It's
creates
a celebration,
jobs, I guess. Right. So
Right.
she will officially accept the nomination, but she really is the official nominee.
Right.
So Harris has already won the delegates via this online roll call.
Yes.
But the Democratic National Convention, which has started in Chicago, it will be a test for her to not just cater to the Democratic base, but the general votes.
True.
So she has a lot of support coming in from the Democratic voter base, but the challenge is for her to win enough moderates to give her an edge in the swing states. So she will officially accept the nomination on Thursday local time.
Yes.
Introduce herself on the national stage and try to become the country's first female president. So she will have the full party, I suppose, royalty backing her up. So first on deck is Joe Biden, who will speak in just a couple of hours. He will be the keynote speaker, and he will kind of pave the way for her to become his successor on the stage that he was supposed to be on to accept the nomination.
Bittersweet.
Definitely bittersweet. And then Barack and Michelle Obama, who have their political roots in Chicago, will be on stage to support Harris. So we have the usual suspect. Bill Clinton will introduce Vice President nominee Tim Walz, Hakeem Jeffries, Jill Biden, who will introduce her husband, Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, and Hillary Clinton. But former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, Republican.
Yes.
Liz Cheney, daughter of the Republican Dick Cheney, will speak. She has a horrible relationship with Trump.
Yes.
They hate each other. So she has definitely turned to, well, we don't know what she will say, but it will be along the lines of an endorsement. So certainly an interesting event.
Yes. But as the Harris-Walz ticket has mobilized the voter base, some Democrats are actually holding protests in Chicago.
Right. So protests have taken place outside the convention hall in support for a lot of things, but mostly the Palestinian cause for or against the war in Gaza.
Yes.
So thousands of people have gathered and they have begun marching fairly peacefully towards the United Center where the convention is being held. So the concern was going into this week that will this be a mirror of the protest, the famous protest in 1968? So many things seem to parallel each other. The anti-war, anti-Vietnam protests back in 68, anti-Gaza protests now, the DNC also in Chicago in both years.
Right.
But that particular protest back in 68 turned very violent. However, at least thankfully, the 2024 protest seems to be peaceful for the time being. The protesters are sticking to the agreed upon route, about a mile's march to the center, and the police are monitoring the protests using bicycles, vans, and helicopters.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. I'm sure we'll have an update tomorrow.
Of course.
And for our final story, we're actually going to go to the moon, where there's a crater on the lunar surface that has been named after a Korean man.
Right. So a crater is 충돌구. So you see the lunar surface, it's very bumpy because of the craters. And that's basically a deep hole. It's been created when asteroids, meteoroids strike the moon's surface. And one has been named by a South Korean team for the first time ever. So the team that submitted the applications is at Kyunghee University. And they said that the official entity, the International Astronomical Union, or the IAU, has decided to name this large crater that's on the far side of the moon the 남병철 crater.
남병철.
And we're like, who's he? Well, we're going to find out.
Okay.
So there are about 300,000 craters on the moon, but only about 1,600 of them have been named.
Yes.
And there's actually a whole application and assessment process by the IAU in naming craters. And so, the team applied for this back in 2022. After a 2-year assessment, it's official, the 남병철 crater.
So I when you said 남병철, I was kind of like, in my brain, I was like trying to rattle.
Right, you're like, pull it up in your database.
Who is he?
Right, so he's a scholar from the late Joseon period.
Okay, now I don't feel bad.
Right,
Okay.
so in the mid-19th century. So he was in charge of the diplomacy and cultures, kind of the cultural minister back then.
Yes.
But in particular, he is known as one of the key astronomers of the Joseon era. And he apparently had a deep understanding of astronomy and mathematics and published books on it. So now we know. And the reason for his name being the crater's name is because if they use names, the IAU only allows for proven scientists' names to be used to name the craters.
Interesting.
So we know. Now I have 2 scientists, Joseon era scientists, 장영실 and now 남병철 in my brain's database.
Trivia pursuit.
Right.
Now we know. Well, thanks for letting us know as well. We'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, it's time for our first song. I hope you're ready for it. This is 비도 오고 그래서 by Hayes. Enjoy. I'll be back soon.
비도 오고 그래서 네 생각이 나서 그래서 그랬던 거지 별 의미 없지 오늘은 오랜만에 네 생각을 하는 날이야 일부러 난 너와 내가 남겨있는 노래를 찾아 오늘은 슬프거나 안고 살 테니까 내 가슴 속에만 품고 살아갈 테니까 비도 오고 그래서 네 생각이 나서 그래서 그랬던 거지 별 의미 없지 우산 속에 숨어서 네 집을 지나쳐 그날의 감정을 다시 느껴보고 봐서
떨어지는 빗물과 시계 초침 소리가 방 안 가득 채우면 그때로 난 돌아가 차라리 난 이 비가 그치지 않았음에 내 기억 속에 살 수 있겠나 널 아프게 했던 못난 놈이니까 널 다시 품에 안을 자격도 없으니까
비도 오고 그래서 네 생각이 나서 그래서 그랬던 거지 별 의미 없지 우산 속에 숨어서 네 집을 지나쳐 그날의 감정을 다시 느껴보고 봐서 우리에게 주어진 행복을 너무 빨리 쓴 것 같아
거기까지인 것 같아
이 비가 그칠 때 각자 있던 곳에서
다시 살아가야만
비도 오고 그래서 네 생각이 나서 그래서 그랬던 거지 별 의미 없지 우산 속에 숨어서 네 집을 지나쳐 그날의 감정을 다시 느껴보고 봐서
Back, everybody. So today's topic today, what are we talking about? We are talking about the fact that the high ratio of those on basic welfare, well, they're within our city. And this comes at the highest among all metropolitan cities. This is attributed to the high ratio of seniors and business people who are more susceptible to economic changes. And with this increase in the number of people on basic welfare, the city has also been increasing the budget for this demographic, this population, having doubled that budget in the last 5 years. So as the number of those on basic welfare is expected to go up again next year, the city will inevitably add to that budget for next year. Our city is also updating its policy on such population. So it's going to run data analysis on those who have had their electricity or water cut off after they weren't able to pay for their bills, their utility bills. The city will send officials to these homes and utilize mail delivery workers to check in on these individuals on their route. Experts say that this rapid acceleration of those on basic welfare could deliver a harsh blow to the city's economy and have called on the city and local governments to allocate resources to respond before it becomes a full-blown crisis. And we never want it to become that, right? And so hence, that's why we're talking about it, so we are better aware of the situation in our own city. All right, now we're going to get to our text topic for now. Here we go. Stickers, signs, decals. Do you tend to decorate your car, phone, computer, the door in your home? Or generally speaking, do you stick to plain surfaces? Is the question at hand. 자, 차에 스티커, 문에 뭐 달기, 노트북, 폰 꾸미기 등 여러분 물건 꾸며서 쓰시는지 아니면 그냥 순정으로 쓰시는지. 그래서 문 뭐 이렇게 문에 어떤 걸 얘기하는지 뭐 꽃, 뭐 사진 그런 것도 이야기하고요. I do have a wall in my kitchen. It's kind of, I have one wall in my kitchen where, you know those photo booths that are so popular? 인생 땡컷, you know that one? Yeah, we love taking the. I don't know about we. Okay, my kids love taking those photos every time an opportunity. If I had a dime for every time we took a photo in one of those booths, I would be so rich right now. But they love taking photos, and I don't like saying no because I feel like we're creating memories. So we have like a photo booth wall at this point. Tons of photos, and we love making like funny faces, and then we always do rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to choose the positioning of like 어디 서는 것까지 그거 가위바위보에서 선택해요. So who gets to be like in the middle, or everybody wants to be in the back. I don't know, in Korea everybody's obsessed with like face size, right? 얼굴 작게 나오려고 하잖아요. 그래서 지는 사람은 앞에 서야 돼요. 그래서 I have a wall of that. But aside from that, I'm pretty simple. And we have lots of stickers going on with, I believe, the dads today. Like Jae-bong Lee saying, I believe his daughter likes, my phones are covered with all kinds of girly, cute stickers like hearts and teddy bears, all done by his 9-year-old daughter. And I think this is the funniest. JB has stickers of Pokiteng, yeah, that monster. And then I asked, how old is your son? And he said, maybe 9. What's with a maybe? Do you not know how old your son is? Anyhow, we're going to get to our hot clip. I'll be back in a moment. For today's hot clip, you may have heard of some of the rioting going on in the UK, but do you really understand what's happening? I just wanted to cover it one last time because it seems that the British authorities have now arrested more than 1,000 people following days of rioting involving violence, arson, and looting, as well as racist attacks targeting Muslims and migrants. Here's a clip from Reuters.
Racist riots that erupted across the United Kingdom in the first half of August were ostensibly aimed at Muslims, immigrants and the police. But for many Black Britons, it also reignited memories of racist violence by the far right during the second half of the 20th century.
Are we in 2024 or 1974?
That's Ngozi Fulani, the CEO and founder of Sister Space, an African and Caribbean heritage charity in East London. The organisation boarded up its windows as supporters warned them that far-right rioters were headed that way. The riots were fuelled by misinformation spread online that the suspect in a deadly knife attack was an Islamist migrant. 3 little girls, Elsie Stancoom, Alice da Silva Aguiar and BB King were killed during that incident, as well as white rioters attacking hotels housing asylum seekers, immigration centres, mosques, police officers and shops. Videos also circulated online of white men attacking people of colour across the country. That includes a group badly beating a black man in Manchester. Kaushik Mistry is the founder of the Anthony Walker Foundation, a charity combating racism and hate crime.
Suddenly, you're a prisoner in your own home, in your own country, in the place where you live and work and contribute to that society. It's incredibly unhealthy, that result of the last week's actions have caused that for people.
Mistry said the foundation would normally have up to 50 referrals a week. But in the first 2 weeks of August, more than 300 people affected by race and religious hate approached his charity.
And for those of you who are watching us on the NutTube streaming, you probably saw the photo of those 3 young girls. That is what sparked some of these riots, where the blame was wrongly placed on an Islamist migrant. There was some online misinformation that was spread, and that's when hatred can spread. I just wish that we could stop the spread of misinformation, first of all. Anyhow, this was an explanation into what's going on in your hot clip for this Tuesday morning.
Stay tuned. You're listening to Morning Wave in Busan.
It is time for Who Let Him Back in the Studio?
Baby. I'm back.
Why did she let you back?
Well, I sent her a message.
문 열어줬어요?
I sent a message on Sunday saying, do you need me or am I coming back? She's like, yes. That was
really?
it.
That was it?
Yeah. Yes
There
with
was
a
no
period.
pause? There was no pause?
no.
Like, jump, jump, jump?
No.
Maybe? No. No.
I said, what about cat?
Andrew's
And she
back.
said, jump.
점점점 아니면 점점점?
To you. Yeah. Sorry. Hey,
No.
before we get started, I know you
Yes.
have a lot of questions, things like
Yes.
that. I have to give a big shout out to my dad.
Why?
Happy birthday, Dad.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah. So I know we just left him, so it's not like I haven't seen him in forever, but yeah, so happy birthday, Dad. Love you.
What's your dad's name?
Rick.
Rick.
Yeah, Rick Murphy. There you go.
Rick Murphy. Happy birthday.
Yeah, fancy feet. He's a dancer.
Oh,
He
really?
likes to dance.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
No,
he's like a ballroom dancer. Like, whoa.
I think some people might think he is, but that's all right. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So how are things? How have you been?
I don't know, but Leslie, in capital letter, our Andrew is back.
There you go.
She's so happy to see
Finally, can
One
you come and be the
person.
host? There you go.
you. Yes. So how was your trip?
Fantastic. It was good. And for those of you who don't know, I'm from the East Coast of Canada, and
Where's our maple syrup?
Sorry.
No gifts?
Settle down. Settle down.
Okay.
So my city is known for having really foggy weather, and it's not usually the best weather. But this summer, it was fantastic.
I was like going to say all the photos you posted
Yeah.
on the gram were like fantastic.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking
St.
about.
John, thank you for holding up your end of the bargain because we really enjoyed it.
Yes, he posted so much, and I was so busy liking everything. It's like, too
There you
much. 너무 많이 찍었어. Okay, well, real quick before we get into sports.
Sure.
So we're talking about like stickers and decals later on,
Yeah.
like bumper stickers and stuff like that. Are you one? Do you like stick things? What is that?
This is from my trip. It's a bit dirty now. It was from my family visited the Anne of Green Gables Heritage Place.
Anne of Green Gables?
The Bagamorian.
Oh, Bagamorian.
Yeah,
yes.
so we went there in Prince Edward Island, so that was the sticker that's on there. But it was the one I had to wear on my shirt, and then when we got out, I took it off. I didn't want it, so I put it on my phone.
But normally.
Yeah, am I a sticker person? I enjoy them. It's funny you ask because we got a bunch of stickers from our trip, and we just put them on our kids' water bottles yesterday because they got new water bottles for the
water
trip.
bottles, okay.
And they're all they're stickered up now. So I enjoy stickers. I think they're all right.
Maybe on your car, like, do you have like 초보 운전?
No, there's zero things on my car.
Okay, got it. Let's dive into the world of sports.
Yeah, so we're going to start this week with some events that have been taking place since the end of the Olympic Games.
Yes.
Now, I know there's always things that happen during, but this is what's going on after. So the games have been over for a couple of weeks, and it was a successful games for the South Korean team.
Yes.
The team brought home 32 medals in total, and I had to check this because I thought, wow, I know that was a heck of a lot more than they got in Tokyo, but was it the record? No, it wasn't. They were one medal short of 33 that they won in 88 in Seoul. So usually when you're the home team, you usually do kind of win a little bit more because you're in so many events. And certainly a huge improvement on the 20 medals won at Tokyo, which was seen as a disappointment and pretty much a failure. I hate to use that word with these athletes, but as a country, a lot of people are like, come on.
It was underwhelming.
That's a better way to put it. Yes. So the Olympic Games are also an opportunity for those to capitalize on the success. Now, two names are at the forefront of this conversation. Badminton gold medalist An Se-young and shooting silver medalist Kim Ye-ji. And we're going to do a little clip in case people forgot who they are.
Living up to expectations as the world number one, South Korea's An Se-young on Monday won gold in the women's badminton singles event.
Olympic sharpshooter Kim Ye-ji, who won the silver medal in the 10-meter air pistol event, has captivated the internet with her steely gaze and somewhat sci-fi style, which included cyborg-worthy glasses, a black Fila jacket, sour shoes, and a little stuffed toy elephant.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many memes of her. She became like an international star.
Yeah, I know like with En Se-young, everyone's just like, well, because she did it at the Asian Games.
Right.
And, at home, she's a big deal, I'll say, right? In the world of badminton as well. But with Kim Ye-ji, it's very different because, well, pistol shooting doesn't get a lot of publicity anyway.
Not at all, right.
I'm sorry to say that, but that's just the truth of the matter.
Sure.
But she was like thrown into the limelight as well.
Like, literally.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that little elephant.
Yeah.
So cute. And like it was such an oxymoron, like watching her, like she looks so deadly.
Oh yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there's that like cute little stuffed elephant. It was so cute. Yes. And so tell us more. Why are they in the news?
Well, we'll start with En Se-young. So the 22-year-old gold medalist sparked controversy, actually, when she kind of lashed out at the national team and Badminton Korea Association. I'm sure you guys have talked about this, or it's been talked about, because of the poor handling of her knee injury.
Yes.
And for outdated and inefficient operations, among other things, soon after winning the gold medal at the Olympics. And a lot of people were surprised by this because I don't know. I guess I don't know her on a personal level. I don't see her as someone who, or I didn't think she'd be outspoken like this, or maybe it's just the typical way I see the athletes in those sports.
Yes.
And she was a complete opposite. And, you know, I feel that she had a lot to say, and it was to say that, you know, things have to change with the practices that go on with, you know, with the Badminton Korea Association. Now, the Ministry of Sport has, you know, a probe into this. They're looking to find out some answers.
They've launched an investigation.
If things are true, if things need to change. But I wanted to bring this up because it's only at times like this that she's actually able to have her voice heard. And that's what she was saying. She went on, I'm paraphrasing here, but she wanted to say that, you know, I want the athletes to have a voice. And if there's something wrong, they need to be heard. And that's the same thing she was saying, that, you know, her knee was hurt, her ankle was hurt, and all these things. And they would come back and say, well, you're receiving treatment just like everybody else. And she didn't say like she needs more treatment than anyone else, but there has to be different treatment for different people, because if you hurt your knee and I hurt my hip, things got to be different. All right. The timeline's got to be different. And also she was talking about that, you know, the association could determine what events she could participate in and what she couldn't. And I feel that's a bit, you know, if you're the best in the world, you know your body, and she should have the right to choose that as well.
And the whole like singles versus doubles kind of thing. That's an issue too.
You know, and she's saying that they have more precedent. They, you know, they get more attention and whatnot. Well, she brought home the gold medal. So I think that might change things moving forward.
Right. I mean, you know, some people maybe, I don't know, it was kind of like, is she taking away from the other athletes? There's a lot of talk about it.
She did, in this press conference, she apologized for taking the spotlight from the other athletes. But I guarantee you that there are a lot of athletes who are on her side than not, saying, hey, this is something that the spotlight needs to be shown on, you know, compared to like, hey, I was also at the Olympics. What do you take? No, they all want, you know, some fairness as well, I think. So it's, in my opinion, I think that it's great that she spoke up. And if some change comes from it, you know, if it turns out that she was completely wrong, well, we'll hear about that as well.
I'm sure. Yes.
Exactly.
Well, let's turn our attention to the calm, collected Kim Ye-ji.
Yeah, so Kim Ye-ji is signed with a local talent agency.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the agency, Pliffville, I guess is what it's called, announced Monday that they will represent the 31-year-old marksman, or markswoman, sorry. With our experience in managing actors and entertainers, we will support Kim Ye-ji's activity as home and abroad.
Wow.
Making sure she will shine brightly on different stages. Now, this is because of the video that leaked. And this was not the Olympic video. This was from the World Cup earlier this year in Baku in May, and which went all over X. And, you know, people, but it didn't gain the traction then. It was only after she won the silver medal in Paris, right?
Yes.
And it even had, you know, X's owner Elon Musk came out and saying she should be cast in a movie, in an action movie. No acting required.
This is when it kind of like blew up, right?
Exactly, right? So I guess, obviously, if he likes something or whatnot, it's going to start trending anyway. So the agency added that Kim may play a role in films or TV series to help promote the sport of shooting. So I guess, you know, in that sense, if she can bring some more light to the sport of shooting, shooting, maybe get some more financial benefits for those athletes and things like that. Hey, happy days.
I am so happy for her.
Yeah.
I mean, I love when the unsung heroes pop out of an Olympics like this.
Yeah, and I can't wait to go back to school and go to the classroom and see if anyone has those special glasses on or something. It's something you could probably find in a market somewhere.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. All right, well, congrats, of course, to all the Olympians, whether they medaled or not, because getting to that level is
fantastic.
So amazing.
It was really funny in my house in Canada.
Yes.
We had.
So how are you cheering?
Yeah, so we had the TV on, right? It was all the Canadian sports. Then we had the tablet with an app, so we could watch the Korean sports. So my wife's screaming in one corner. I'm like, what are you talking? I'm looking at the TV, and it's a cycling, and they got 40 kilometers to go. I'm like, why are you screaming? But it was obviously something different.
I see.
Yes.
All right, well, let's move on to some KBO news. Do we need to? Okay.
But, we are. Sorry. And actually, it's not bad for Lotte Giants, but we'll get to that in a moment. So the KBO set a new single-season attendance record on Sunday, surpassing a 7-year-old mark.
Wow.
With more than a month left of the season. So
it's so popular these days, baseball.
If you've seen any videos of Sajik Yagujeong, it's mental.
It is.
And you would think that they're in first place.
Is it because of that show, the Chegang Ting Ting? I don't know.
It could
it's
be.
Like there's this new fervor around baseball. I feel it.
I 100% agree with you.
I'm not a baseball fan, but I feel it.
Yeah, even I have friends. I mean, that's always been something here in Korea that even baseball is for the non-fan.
Right.
You don't have to know anything about the game to have a good time. But it's Sajik, usually this time of year, if the team is not doing great, is maybe half empty, but especially on a weeknight.
But
it's so busy. Yeah, so they have still a month left. So in 2017, it was 720 games where the mark was set, and now it was 569th game where the mark was passed. So I can't believe it's they have a month left. This is going to get worse, or it's going to get better, I guess. Sorry. Lotte are in 8th place, but don't get all up in the air about this. They are 14 and a half games back of first place, but they're only a game and a half back of a playoff spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Was that too loud?
Or sorry, two and a half games back of a playoff spot. Okay. And they were on a run. So in their last 10 games, they're 7-3-0. So they're one of the best teams in the league at the moment. NC Dinos, sorry for our Gyeongsang rivals out there. They've lost 10 in a row, but we don't need to talk about that. So yeah, go Lotte.
Oh my
but
gosh.
hopefully, I don't know of any games that we played the next 3 days because of the rain that's forecasted, but hopefully they can get at least one in.
Yes. Well, go Lotte.
Yeah, as always, go Lotte.
Of course. Perennial fans of every season.
Yeah.
Every year.
Also, Spurs couldn't get it done against your favorite team this morning.
Oh, God, I woke up early for no reason. Let's not talk about that.
Favorite team? Leicester City.
I know, Leicester. And how can they tie with Leicester? We'll end it on that note because I'm so annoyed right now.
All right. Good to see you again.
Well, we'll think about letting you back in next week after that little quip. And have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. How about this one? It's Raining Men by Jerry Halliwell. Enjoy. I'll be back at 8.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Amen. It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Amen. Humidity's rising. The runners getting low. According to all sources.
잠시 뒤로 하고 특별한 시간을 선물 받는 바로 이곳 부산에서 우리의 삶은 축제가 됩니다. 축제로 하나 되는 부산. 여러분은 어떤 축제를 기다리시나요? 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 bfm 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Hola, I am Rafael Salardi, a Peruvian living in Busan for 20 years now. After living in Peru, I fell in love with Korean culture, so I decided to move to Busan. I like feeling the warm sunrise at the beaches in Busan on sunny days. A cup of coffee while looking at the sea in the coffee city Busan reminds me of the Andes Mountains, a famous coffee producer in Peru. The reason why I like Busan more than anything else is the people. Even though I was not good at Korean, everyone treated me with kindness and friendliness. I really appreciate those who are so nice to me. I want to live happily ever after in Busan for a long time. Gracias, Busan. Global City Busan, we are all in it together. This campaign was brought to you by befm 부산영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Good morning, Dynamic Busan.
Yeah, you're waking up. Time to shake it up. Tell the world good morning and find out what's going on.
Well, hi there, folks. There's everything from comedy to lively chat to music.
Broadcasting from a room about the size of your closet.
All calls are recorded.
What show is this?
Live from Korea's dynamic city, this is Morning Wave in Busan.
I'm sorry, who'd you say you were?
It is now 8 o'clock and this is News Highlights. Typhoon Jongdari brings rainfall to southern regions. The 9th typhoon of the year, Jongdari is moving its way towards South Korea, expected to reach the waters south-southwest of Seogwipo by 9 a.m. this morning. That's according to the Korea Meteorological Administration, or KMA. The typhoon will travel along the western coast of the country and is expected to weaken to a tropical cyclone by tomorrow morning. Rain is already coming down in the southern regions, expected to expand to the central regions by late afternoon. The Ministry of the Interior and Safety cautioned people to check weather forecasts and refrain from visiting coastal areas. PPP and DP leaders to meet Sunday for first talks. Ruling party chair Han Dong-hoon and Democratic Party's newly re-elected chair Lee Jae-myung will hold their first official talks on Sunday as they voiced the need to seek ways to improve people's livelihoods. After his landslide win, Lee Jae-myung invited Han for talks during his victory speech to address pressing issues, including a special investigation bill over the death of a Marine. Han offered his congratulations and welcomed the meeting. The presidential office said that it contacted Lee's side to send a congratulatory orchid, but that Lee's side did not respond. which the DP said was not true. The Yongsan office also said nothing has been decided over E's invitation for talks with President Yoon Suk-yeol. Banks to raise interest rates to curb household debt. KB Bank, Shinhan Bank, and Hana Bank will raise their lending rates on mortgage loans between 0.1 percentage point and 0.3 percentage points this week amid a spike in household loans. Household loans extended by banks gained 5.5 trillion won in July, rising for the fourth consecutive month, led by a rise in mortgage loan growth, according to central bank data. Policymakers remained worried over a spike in household debt, which could weaken further private spending. COVID patients expected to reach 350,000 per week by end of August. The number of COVID patients are expected to reach 350,000 per week by the end of this month. That's according to the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, or KDCA, based on the trends over the past 2 summers. The KDCA said that the government has begun supplying additional COVID treatment drugs and that pharmacies nationwide will have enough drugs by the end of the month. But despite the recent surge in cases, health authorities do not plan to raise the COVID crisis level. Instead, they will prepare for the upcoming Chuseok holiday by focusing on infection prevention guidelines. Netanyahu tells Blinken he supports U.S. ceasefire proposal. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu supports the ceasefire proposal by the U.S. for a truce and a hostage swap. The top American diplomat said that the current round of ceasefire talks may be the last opportunity to broker a truce. The latest negotiations began in Doha last week and are expected to resume in Cairo on Wednesday or Thursday. Hamas is not directly participating in the talks. And this was News Highlights. It's time for Wagle. Haley's back in the studio with us. All right, so I hear that you have brought a couple delivery-related stories. So businesses are launching collective action to differentiate their delivery and in-store prices. And this is in protest of 배민 or 배달의 민족, right?
Right. So, of course, 배민 being the country's biggest delivery platform, they recently raised their delivery commission. So that would be the middleman price charged to the businesses for using their platform. So now some business owners groups, they've announced that their members will apply different rates for delivery versus in-store.
Okay.
Which, as consumers, we understand, but at the same time, whenever we see like raised prices, it does give me a knot in my stomach.
Oh, yes.
So the group has about 650 members, so it's not major, but it may be the beginnings of this practice becoming kind of the norm. And it is in place for some restaurants, and that has been controversial. So the head of this association said that this is in response to this unfair action, or what they deem as unfair action by the delivery app. But they are going to keep the prices the same, delivery and in-store, for other apps, including some local government-operated applications that don't really charge or charge very low delivery commission.
Right.
So some franchises, like the burger franchise Mom's Touch, they're demanding that their franchise headquarters actually apply different prices for in-store versus delivery. So doing that on a kind of a nationwide level.
Okay.
And others, like the burger franchise Loteria, they raised all of their prices by an average of some 3% based on, and they cited high delivery fees as a cause. So, I mean, this is, in essence, a conflict between the delivery platform and the franchises or businesses. But of course, any change in prices, it comes down to customers ultimately.
Yes.
So eating out and delivery fee for December. So for the first time ever last December, Statistics Korea compiled the inflation for eating out plus delivery rates. And that went up by 4.3%. That was last December, likely to go up this year as well. And that was much higher than the general eating out price increase at 2.9%.
Right. I actually checked my recent purchases, order delivery. For the month of August, I was kind of proud of myself.
Oh, yeah?
I only ordered twice this month.
Oh, my God.
Like ordering in.
Wow.
Yeah, no, because this is like goes to show it's
been so expensive.
It's been really expensive.
Right.
It bothers me when prices go up.
And then when
every
you
little
have a
bit
big
counts.
family.
And they eat a lot.
Yeah.
It's not to say good of me. It's just that's how expensive things are.
But that's the thing. A lot of people, because they're trying to cut down, because wages are staying the same, everything else is going up. Yeah.
The producer laughed at me. She thought I was like self-complimenting myself. It's to show you.
But you should. But
prices are so expensive. Yes.
When you don't order delivery, you cook.
Yeah.
When I don't order delivery, well, I eat mom's food.
It means sweating, yes. At the same time, we are seeing more foreign nationals in the food delivery sector, but apparently some of them are working illegally.
Right. So there is a supply and demand problem, a mismatch in the delivery market. So according to one Seoul-based delivery platform, food delivery calls, so the demand has gone up by about 30% because it's been hot. I mean, especially if you are living alone, you really probably don't want to cook in a smaller apartment or smaller unit. But for the same reason, aka it's been hot and it's been raining, Korean delivery workers have been on the decline. So in their place, they're being replaced by foreign delivery workers. But here's the thing. In order for a non-Korean national to work as a delivery worker, you actually need to have a green card. Which is completely different from many other sectors, but that is just how it is in the delivery sector. So
Really?
you need
Okay.
permanent residency, 영주권. So what winds up happening is that, of course, it takes time and it's complicated to go through the visa system.
Yes.
So what they do is they just end up buying a Korean person's name to work under their borrowed name and, personal information. Apparently, depending on, where is there a broker, it can go up to 200,000 won just to rent the name.
Okay.
Of course, this is illegal. And experts say that, of course, the phenomenon of foreign or migrant workers filling spots that have been left empty by domestic workers, that happens in every single industry.
Yes.
However, if there are added risks of traffic accidents, and these are usually on motorcycles, then there need to be more systemic management systems and crackdowns.
Indeed. And we definitely don't want people to fall through the cracks and people to get injured.
Of course.
Yes. All right, moving on. A local couple has been arrested for scamming restaurant owners.
Right. So, of course, we've all been to restaurants or had delivery where you find things in the food that don't belong there. Hair,
Yes.
Whatever. But this couple has had quite a long scheme, an operation going on.
Really?
So, according to Busan's Yeonjae police, they have booked a couple in their 20s on fraud charges, and they're under detention. By the way, for them to be put under detention for fraud, it had to be major. So what they've been doing is that they've been going around local restaurants and ordering delivery food.
Okay.
And that's been happening between last September and this March. But after they get the food, they allegedly put things into the food, like hair, string, and whatnot, foreign objects. And then they would take photos of them, message the owners and say, we found this in your food. And because, every review counts, even if you've had like 1,000 5-star reviews, one-star review can dock down your points.
Yes.
So what they did is they would demand a refund. But then, because you put it there, they would just pluck that out and eat the rest of the food. So they repeated this allegedly on 133 occasions, going from just regular restaurants, dessert cafes, late night snacks, and pretty much anywhere and everywhere. They made 3 million won, 300만 won in refunds, and of course kept the food, so free meal and money on top of it. Right,
That's
which is just a lot of money and
a lot of food.
And I'm like, do you not have jobs?
Apparently
do you not have other things to occupy? So this was found out after one restaurant owner posted this on an online forum, and turns out, at least according to the police, there were 127 victims. So they actually after they got wind of it, they went through this like expanded investigation, looking at and confirming the cancellation history with every single one of these owners and made this arrest.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And they're only in their 20s. Yeah, it says, Drift Monkey says, it's scandalous.
Yeah, very scandalous.
Very apt response. All right, lastly, this goes in line with our text topic. In some countries, like the U.S., bumper stickers like, my kid is an honor student are very common. Or, even having like a university sticker.
Right.
Like in the window, like a
or
decal.
Like T-shirts and sweatshirts.
Very common. Like, it is. It might be a cultural thing, but people say this university bumper sticker raising a lot of eyebrows, saying crossing the line.
Right,
Let's talk about this.
Right. So Seoul대, Seoul National University, started handing out the Proud Parent sticker, and that's been under fire. So this was created by Seoul National University Foundation Incorporated. They posted this banner on their website saying that families of students can sign up to receive these stickers. So what the stickers say, there's a Proud Parent one, and underneath it says SNU, Seoul National University. Another one says, and this is what bothers me the most, the grammar is very wrong. And I'm like, guys,
we were talking about this before the show.
You have very smart people at your school. Grammar check. It says, I'm mom, not I'm a mom or not I'm the mom, just I'm mom, and then Seoul National University.
난 엄마야?
I'm dad, and SNU. And I was like, that's wrong. Anyways,
yes.
So you can sign up. Well, if you're a parent of the student, you can sign up to get the stickers. So, grammar problem aside, it has riled up some people online. Because, school logos, if you have the T-shirt, you have stickers for current students, or even alumni.
Yes.
They are common, but at least in Korea, it is unheard of to have merch that boasts that you are a parent of a certain school student. And this being the top-ranked school in Korea, there are obvious, very academic hierarchy implications there, especially in a country that does put a very clear there's like a riddle that tells you like the hierarchy of schools, like
exactly.
a rhyme. So this is if we were talking about this before the show, because you and I both had our school's merch, and
I still have my school merch.
My parents refused. I think my parents actually did put a decal of my sister's school and my school. And we went to different schools on their car. And this was also, it's been years since I've graduated. But there's an inherent difference between, doing that versus, I think, this particular case where it screams elitism.
It is culturally different, the context of it, because I do want to explain, because I remember in the States, when you go off to college, it's kind of a thing, like a rite of passage.
Right.
You buy sweatshirts for your parents, grandparents, or whoever comes to drop you off, and you buy sweatshirts for them with the school logo and the emblem and all that. And it's kind of like you become a part of the school family.
Right.
So it is different
and
culturally.
It could be whatever state school. It could be an Ivy League, and it's just a conversation starter. Sure. My kid went there too, or
But it's not just for Ivy League. That's the whole point.
Not, right.
Yes, that's the whole point. It could be like a state school.
Exactly.
Yes, or even a college.
There's a culture. College, yes. There's a cultural difference.
Yes, and so this case had gotten serious though.
Right. So this sticker actually came out last week, and I kind of was like, do I want to cover this? Do I not want to? Well, now a civic group has actually filed a case with the Civil Rights and Anti-Corruption Commission. Right.
Serious.
So it's actually getting serious. So the civic group expressed regrets at Seoul National for not being prudent and sending a message that a child's successful college admissions is an achievement by the parent. Right. And that giving them permission to boast this via these stickers and call this action vulgar. And as for why it lodged a complaint to specifically the Anti-Corruption Civil Rights Commission, well, the group said that the commission has previously sternly responded against actions that encourage such academic hierarchy to be put on display. When you go to, I think especially smaller towns and even high schools, when a kid gets into a really good college, they put up banners so-and-so went to this. They have actually advised against it. Well, because it obviously then puts it really solidifies that hierarchy. If you go to ABC school, that warrants a banner. If you go to other schools, it might warrant a poster. Others, So it does send a message. So it's like, what kind of message are we sending to the students? And do we want to solidify that culture that's really already so ingrained in Korea?
Right. And even like at high school, like when they graduate, they have like...
They do, and the commission has advice against this.
Got into, that school, right? So
and of course it's cause for celebration, but...
It's a tough one, but and many people think that this goes against the grain of kind of this humble culture that we have.
Plus, and what we're trying to do in terms of breaking down that hierarchy.
Yes. So as Leslie points out, in the U.S., this is a thing. I have several shirts, sweatshirts, mugs from my kids' university. We give the university many thousands of dollars every semester. We deserve the merch.
You really do.
So that's what it's a very culturally different thing where like. Yes, but in Korea, the context of it, where kids are literally dying, dying,
we have
to get into the
suicide rate,
top universities is what we're talking about. So anyhow, that's why we're talking about this.
So very woggly.
It is.
Indeed.
All right, well, we'll check in with you tomorrow.
Have a great day.
Everybody, this was Haley. Now we're going to get to your updated traffic and weather. It is now 8:18, and here's your updated traffic report. There was an accident on Kayadero from Kaegum intersection to the Dongide-Eogwi intersection. Apparently, there was an accident involving a cargo truck right by the university, and that's causing backup still. Please be aware of this area. There was another accident on Saesaklo from Puam to Seomyeon intersection, and that was right past the Puam intersection. That is still causing some delays. There's also congestion on Chungnyeol-dero from the Allak underpass to the Wondong interchange right now. It is currently 28 degrees Celsius and raining in parts of the city under a heavy rain advisory. Rain is forecast throughout the entire day with daytime highs to go up to 33 degrees Celsius. Showers are coming down in Jeju and the southern region, and the central region will see rain starting this afternoon. And this was your traffic and weather. Here is Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder. Welcome back, everybody. So our text topic today, we're talking about stickers, signs, and decals. We were talking about like decorating your car, phone, computer, door, or do you stick to plain surfaces? And the reason why we talked about this was that very last story we talked about in Wa글와글 about the whole, that school with the, promotion of the, the parents and all that. So it was an explanation. I was trying to explain, at least to some of our YouTube viewers and listeners. There is definitely a cultural context to this here in Korea. Our youth so driven to perform well in school to the point where some of our youth often are so driven to succeed in education that sometimes they get depressed and unfortunately even suicidal. And that's why it's such a sensitive issue here in Korea. So even number two, my second one, she told me, Mom, don't wear my hoodie in public. So I stopped wearing her hoodie in public because I just wear it at home, like in the comfort of my own home, even though I didn't really think twice about it. And she's like, yeah, don't do that because, somebody might feel bad. I was like, I never even thought about it. I was like, okay. So I stopped wearing it. So I wear it in the comfort of my home. It's like pajama wear. But so it is a cultural thing. But in terms of many of you, a lot of you, aside from your little kitties who stick things on your phones, it seems, are kind of like in the best way possible, plain Janes. You like to stick to like plain surfaces. You're not sticking a lot of things on your phones and whatnot. So that is kind of the overall kind of feeling I'm getting from our waivers today, which is perfectly fine. And Drift Monkey kept on asking about the merch. This, by the way, I don't even know what to call this. 이거 뭐라고 불러요, PD님? The thing that I have on my phone. I don't know what it's called. The key ring or the phone? I don't know. The thing that you put your finger through to hold, when you're looking at your phone. I don't even know what to call it. This is from years ago. Our station made it. And our producer looks perplexed because she doesn't know what it's called either. 저도 잊어버렸어요. 이거 뭐라고 불러요? Anybody? It's a big question mark. Anyhow, I had a couple from years ago, and then they've been sitting in a drawer, and I just kind of rediscovered them. So this is merchandise from years ago, but I kind of like this one. I hope we have more merch like that. But anyhow, thanks for your comments, and we're going to be back with our special interview. This is our special interview. Microplastics have infiltrated nearly every corner of our environment, from the air we breathe to the food we consume. And as these tiny plastic particles accumulate in our bodies and ecosystems, concerns about their long-term health effects are growing. Recent studies suggest a need to reevaluate everyday items like plastic water bottles and food containers, highlighting potential risks. So let's delve into the current understanding of microplastics, their pervasiveness, and what can be done to mitigate exposure. We have invited to the airwaves Dr. Philip Landrigan, a pediatrician, epidemiologist, and director of the Program for Global Public Health and the Common Good at Boston College. He's on air with us. Let's say hi to him. Hi, Professor. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Catherine. It's good to be here.
Yes. So how extensive is the infiltration of microplastics into our daily lives? And maybe if you can also let us know maybe some of the most unexpected places they can be found?
Sure. So microplastics really are everywhere. And the reason they have become so pervasive is that the production of plastics has just been increasing, has been increasing exponentially. World production of plastics has increased more than 200 times since 1950. Half of all the plastic ever made has been made since the year 2000. And if the current trend continues, we're going to double the total amount of microplastic in the environment by 2040 and triple it by 2060. So it's really become a big issue, and it's probably time to begin to think about what to do about it.
Well, I've heard that also recent studies, they suggest a cautious look at plastic water bottles, something that we probably use very often, and also frozen meal containers. So how harmful are these microplastics to human health, especially when ingested over time?
Sure. So it probably all relates to cumulative exposure, your total exposure over a period of time. And any plastic that comes in contact with food or drink is going to release microplastics into the food and drink. And that process of releasing the microplastics is increased if you heat the food in plastic. So one of the things I tell parents when I'm advising them is take the food that comes from the store or from the restaurant, take it out of a microplastic package, put it into a glass or a ceramic dish before you put it in the microwave, and that will reduce your exposure. And to be sure, there's a lot we don't know about microplastics. The science is still early days, but we're learning more and more with each passing year. And for example, just earlier this year in March, the New England Journal of Medicine, which is probably the #1 medical journal in the United States, had a big report showing that microplastics in the human body are associated with increased risk of heart attacks and stroke and even death. So even though there's gaps in our knowledge, there's certainly reason to be cautious and begin to take measures to reduce your exposure to microplastics.
Well, microplastics, they've been present in our environment bodies for decades now. So do we have an emerging understanding of their long-term effects on our health, on our bodies?
Yeah, so I think the understanding is increasing. And I mentioned the report in the New England Journal of Medicine linking microplastics to heart disease. The other thing about microplastics is they contain thousands of chemicals, some of them quite toxic, chemicals that can cause cancer, chemicals that can damage the nervous system, chemicals that can disrupt endocrine function in the human body. And when microplastic particles get into us, and they get into all of us every day, those chemicals can be released and they get into the bloodstream, and they can have negative effects on human health.
Yes, indeed. And, based on what we know thus far, how cautious should we be about our daily exposure? I mean, what specific risks are scientists really concerned about, and what should we be concerned about?
So I think food and drink are the biggest sources of exposure. So to the extent you can drink your beverages from glass bottles or metal cans instead of plastic, that's a good thing. Don't cook or heat food in microplastic. But, this goes beyond the individual. Individuals will do what they can to protect themselves, reduce their use of plastic bags and things like that so that we don't crash up the environment. But it's become the time where governments need to step in as well. And you may be aware that at the end of this year, at the end of November, right there in Busan, the United Nations is convening a major conference to negotiate a global plastics treaty. And the goal is to reduce contamination of the environment with plastics, with microplastics, protect everybody's health. And it's really an amazing honor for the city of Busan to be the host of this conference.
Indeed. Well, in reality, let's face it, even every day we have these, this is just for the show. I brought this glass bottle to show everybody. These types of bottles, or PET bottles, so common, so pervasive, especially during these long, humid, hot summers where it's really, really essential to keep hydrated. And obviously, we would like to think everybody has a tumbler or some sort of reusable, non-plastic bottle with them. But, when it's so hot and we are tempted to jump into the convenience store and grab these bottles, people are worried about the microplastics even with these water bottles. Are they really that bad for us?
Yeah, there's no way that any of us are going to escape plastics.
Right.
They're everywhere. But what we can do is we can distinguish between the plastics that we really need and the plastics that are unnecessary. So, for example, as a doctor, I know that there are plastic instruments that are just unbelievably good, and there's no other material that I could use to, for example, for intravenous tubing or for the little scopes that you look down a child's throat. But on the other hand, plastic shopping bags, plastic bags from the dry cleaner, plastic drinking straws, plastic knives and forks and chopsticks when there are other materials around to serve those purposes. And I think one of the things that will come out of this plastic treaty is that nations around the world are going to say, hey, we need to restrict our manufacture of plastics. The way to get there is not to take away the plastics we really need, but to focus on the unnecessary plastics and help educate countries, educate individual folks that they need to go back to some of the stuff that their parents and their grandparents used not so very long ago.
Yes. I think that's an important point, though, about the unnecessary plastics. That's something that's doable that we can really cut down on. So given that...
It really is, yes.
Yes, and given the growing body of research, how do you foresee the future of microplastics research evolving, especially in terms of public health guidelines and policy changes? Because we don't want policy where the public, it's going to be too hard to swallow. Like, we can't tell people to cut every single piece of plastic out of their lives, right? That's just not doable.
Yeah. Well, I think you start with the easy stuff. And a number of countries around the world have now banned plastic bags, for example. In Africa, Kenya, and Rwanda, you can go to jail if you're found in those countries with a plastic bag. In the United States, we don't have anything like a national ban, but various cities and a couple of the states are banning plastic bags. So you start with the easy targets, the low-hanging fruit, and then move on to the issues that are more complicated.
Yes, indeed. Well, any last thoughts that you want to share with us before we let you go?
Reduce your use of plastic wherever you can, but when you need it, go for it.
I love that. So succinct and to the point. And I love your thoughts about the low-hanging fruits. Do what we can in terms of accessibility. But thank you so much for coming on air with us. We do appreciate it.
A pleasure. Okay. Goodbye.
All right. This was Dr. Philip Landrigan. And he, like he said, the low-hanging fruit, what does he mean by that? That means to focus on the unnecessary plastics, things that we can really do without. Like he mentioned things like, the plastics when we go get our dry cleaning, the plastic bags, the unnecessary plastic containers, the one-time use plastics. Those are things that we can cut out of our lives like right now. You and I, we can do that right now without having to worry about the consequences. We can do that right now. So, of course, if we can get to the higher hanging fruit, that would be great as well. But let's start with a low hanging fruit. And I think that's something we can start today. This was our special interview. We're going to take a song break. Here it is. This is Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis.
Place to play. You said that you've never been, but all the things that you've seen
Get your local up-to-date news from Korea and abroad right here on Morning Wave in Busan with Catherine. Stay tuned.
It is now time for Bonnie and the Health. How are you?
Good morning.
You look so lovely with your hair all up.
Oh, I love this weather outside.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, are you being
It was such a
sarcastic?
nice little break. I'm not going to lie. I was a little sunned out. I got so excited about the sun being out the last couple of weeks. I was just, and I do a summer camp with kids outside. So I was in the sun way too much. So it's a nice little break.
Oh, yeah. And then people are commenting that it feels like it's a little cooler.
Yeah.
Even though temperature-wise, the forecast says 33 degrees is going to be our high. But it feels a little cooler because of the rain.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's calming, kind of relaxing. Yeah, I liked it.
Yes, indeed. All right. What are we... before we get into it, we have time for the text topic, so I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
So today we've been asking, are you a person that likes to put stickers or decals on anything, or are you kind of a simple kind of gal?
No. Okay. So this is funny. All my life, no. I don't like stickers on water bottles, computers,
right.
nothing like that. But this past year, I was visiting friends in the States, in Seattle, and they had so many cute stickers at the stores, and I turned into a sticker person. So now I've been starting.
Sticking on what?
Yes, on my water bottles and just water bottles. Started with just that.
The water bottle.
Yeah, they just had such cute stickers. I couldn't stay away.
Oh.
Yeah. So I got a couple really cute ones. So now I've been converted slowly.
Yes. All right. We're going to now jump into whatever topic you've brought for the health.
Yes. So today's kind of a continuation of last week. We were talking about lymphatic drainage, lymph massage. So today I covered a little bit about the gua sha in specific terms last week. So we're going to go in a little bit deeper with that, and then another technique, dry brushing, that you guys can do. So these are two pretty easy, simple, different things that you can do to do that lymphatic drainage, that lymphatic massage, but very simple you can do at home, and not, very quick too. And you don't have to do these every single day, but the more you do them, the more benefits you'll have. So I'll get into the gua sha. Have you heard of this?
I really want to get I don't even know what to call it. The
tool?
The tool.
Yeah, the tool is the gua sha. So a little kind of a heart-shaped
피디님, 이거
design.
한국말로 뭐라고 불러요? Is it gua sha? 괄사. 괄사. Okay, it's called 괄사. Okay.
So we'll get into this. So it's gotten a little trendy, I think, online. There's lots of little videos, trending items, but it's traditionally an Eastern medicine technique, and it's using a tool to kind of scrape or rub the skin to increase that blood flow and aid in lymphatic drainage. So if you have a lack of blood flow, this can cause swelling, tightness, pain in your muscles. So in ancient Chinese medicine, according to Forbes Health, the goal of the gua sha was to move a person's qi, or your energy, throughout the body to release pain, any negative symptoms, blockages. So throughout the body, you want to have good blood circulation. If anything is stagnant, just like if you think about a pond of water that just sits there, grows a lot of algae, lots of yucky things start to build up. But if you think of a river flowing constantly, it's nice and clear. So if you think about your body in the same way, you want your blood to be circulating, bringing good nutrients to where they need to go, and then taking toxins out of where they need to go. So for the gua sha, the benefits internally, like we've been covering, the lymphatic drainage, moving the toxins around, flushing them out. You have a bunch of little lymph nodes all throughout your face as well. So your lymphatic system moves the fluid into those lymph nodes. Lymph nodes clean it out, and it brings the good blood, the healthy, clean blood back out into your system. So all those little lymph nodes in your face too, you don't want them to get blocked up, because that'll cause swelling in your face, maybe even a little bit of pain. So it can also really help your immune system. And if you have any pain or injuries or scar tissue, this can also help with that as well. And any people out there that suffer from TMJ, this will not cure your TMJ, but if you have muscle pain, it can help to relieve that muscle pain in your jaw. Externally,
Yes.
gua sha has been known to produce collagen, decrease puffiness, inflammation, tighten the skin, even brighten your complexion.
Yes.
And reduce the look of fine lines and wrinkles, and even help to sculpt the face.
I've seen some of the before and afters, and I don't know whether to believe.
Yeah, some of them I think are a little bit
helped with-
dramatized. Yeah,
like with the I wonder.
I can't say that it will completely dramatically change your face, but I even from personal usage, from like a weeks of use, if I do
Yes.
it continuously, I do notice a difference. And even just like my face being clear, the brightness, the complexion thing, that I do see a difference in myself.
Okay.
But consistency is key in this. So I do feel like if you do it consistently, you can find time to do it. I
Yes.
think the benefits are really great. So I'll go through the technique a little bit here. So gua sha should never be painful. So it should be kind of like a massage. It should be relaxing, calming. So if you're pushing too hard and you're having like really big red marks on your face, you're doing it too deep, too intense. So it should not be painful.
And don't you need kind of like an oil?
Yes.
Okay.
So to start off, you want your
Not
face
dry.
to be clean.
Yes.
So a clean face after you've washed your face completely, dried off, and then you want to use an oil because you want the tool to glide across your face and not be pulling on your skin, because then you'll be doing the opposite effect. You're going to be increasing the wrinkles in your face and pulling on your skin. You want the tool to glide across your skin. So you want also the gua sha tool to kind of lay flat on your face. You don't want the edges to be on your skin and then dragging. You want the tool to be flat on your face and to be going through.
Can you lower the filter on your mic? The mic so we can see. There you go. Yes.
So you want the tool to be nice and flat on your face.
Uh-huh.
And because my face is not clean, I'm not going to go through the full
Right.
But just the main areas, I'm just going to go through the way I do it, because there are many different techniques, many different methods. You
Where
can
should
look
we
online.
start, though?
So
Isn't
because today we're covering like
Yes.
lymphatic drainage, you can do it to kind of tighten your skin. So I've seen a lot of people going up the neck to kind of tighten the
Yes.
skin on your neck. But just aid with lymphatic drainage, I always kind of start at the collarbone. So I'll kind of massage here, loosen up all the lymph nodes here in the collarbone, then go through the neck. So I like to go up and down to loosen up all the lymph nodes here. Kind of natural passage of drainage is this way.
Okay.
But I do see a lot of people going up to kind of try and tighten the skin in the neck.
Okay.
Then down here, the jawline, going from the middle, holding the skin in the middle of your
Holding
chin,
it, okay,
and then
and going
pulling
up.
backwards.
Backwards, okay.
So nice and flat on your skin. And then I also see this little curved edge here on your cheekbone. So again, holding the skin here so you're not pulling on
because you don't want to hurt
too much.
your skin.
Yeah.
Right.
And then pulling up this
And
way.
this is with an oil.
Yes. And then at the top, a little hairline wiggle here.
Yeah, I always see like do a little like a
little wiggle here,
there.
and then bring it down all the way down the neck. And I would see a lot of people actually going around the ear and all the way down. So this is following that lymph node drainage to get it all the way down. So I would suggest maybe 5 to even 10 times each way.
But
And then-
gentle, right?
Yes, gentle, all the way down here. And then your smile line. So a lot of people always concerned about the smile lines here. So you can use the tool this way to go down and then also up too.
It's a sign that you smile a lot.
Yeah, I actually like those smile lines, but
I
some
have a
people
question
want
for you. Tommy says, is that silicone or ceramic?
This one is actually stone.
It's a stone.
Rose quartz.
Rose
one.
quartz.
But there are different materials that you can use. So some people say gua sha experts always kind of go towards a stone, like a jade, a rose quartz. Some people even like obsidian because they say that it helps with acne, clearing acne. And these are for the most hygienic purposes.
Yes.
The stone are really great because they're naturally antibacterial. But there are ones that are made out of stainless steel or plastic. Stainless steel ones are nice because they have kind of a cooling effect. But I did see while researching this that the gua sha experts online had said that you want your tool to be kind of warm to loosen up the muscles.
Okay.
So also people that are concerned about the forehead lines, the 11
furrow.
lines, they say. Yeah, if you furrow your brows a lot. So down in the middle here, just going up and down. And then up the eyebrow line too to kind of help your
it's
natural
kind of always
curve
like an
of the
up
eyebrow.
and down.
Yes. So thinking always from starting from the center of the nose going out. So also depuffing the eyes. So if you put the tool right underneath the eyes, kind of like a point in between your eye and your nose, and then going out from the center to the outside, from the center to the outside. And then also your forehead moving from your eyebrows up.
Yes.
So going up, 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 and then around. And then again, lymphatic drainage, pulling it all the way down to the neck to kind of get that drainage.
Right. So, a lot of our male listeners are so curious about this because they've never seen this. We're getting so many comments. They're like, is that good for the skin? What's it good for? It's
super great for the skin,
and
like
for
I said.
blood circulation.
Yes, for all of your muscles.
Lymphatic drainage. That's the whole point of today's corner.
Getting all the toxins out and moving. So like I said, you don't want stagnation anywhere. And so this will really help with the depuffing of the skin and also like really relaxing. Think of it as like a massage, like a facial massage.
Of course.
And you can do this while sitting, watching TV, incorporate it into your daily routine.
I want to get one like right now.
Yes.
I gotta go to Kuteng.
So this is a real, and there's so many videos. There's actually now filters online that you can use. So if you're kind of confused at first and don't know which direction to go in, there are filters that you can use that you look in the screen, and the screen will show the arrows of the direction that you need to use the tool. Yes. So there's many of those online as well.
Yes.
There's also the rollers, jade rollers. So if you want like a quick fix, this one can also do the trick too. So this one you can also, I like to keep it in the fridge so I can use it to depuff.
What's that other thing? Here. Not the brush. The brush we'll do next week, but what is that?
This one is actually, I like it to do it for my head to kind of increase the circulation for my hair follicles.
And the follicles.
Yeah, and this is a really nice massaging tool. And this also can be used in the back of the neck, going up, down,
You have all the tools. Wow.
I tell you, once I started this though, especially when you're watching TV, there's no excuse. Or if you're a online watcher of sorts, if you're watching anything, you can just do this in the comfort of your own home. And it really, really kind of helps to massage and bring all the toxins out, but also relaxes you as well.
Oh, I got to read this comment.
Yeah.
From Tommy. It's the guys who are commenting. It's in Korean, but you might understand or I'll help translate. 내 머리에다가 돌로 저걸 하면 맷돌 되겠네요. 머리가 돌이라서. Tommy. He's a brilliant engineer who makes smartphones. No, you're not a 맷돌. No. But the fact that so many people are interested, we've gotten so many comments as soon as you came on air. And then Dana M, I wonder how I should clean that tool after using it.
Right after using these tools, use warm water and soap and just clean it off because all of the oils from your skin also obviously will get on the tools, and you don't want anything to be sitting on these tools and grow bacteria. So clean it off with warm water and soap. And then even if it's been sitting out somewhere where it can maybe gather a lot of dust, just rinse it off right before using as well.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to actually do the whole dry brushing. Can we do that next week?
Yes, we can do that next week.
Okay, we'll have a whole segment on that.
Yes.
The response has been so amazing. So thank you so much for bringing this in.
It's so easy. It's so simple. You can all do it at home, I said. And it really will help not even just complexion, but also internally as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Bonnie.
Yes, you're welcome.
This was The Health. Oh, I'm getting me my little, tool set. Gua sha. I will. We're going to end it with this one, though. This is 철부지 by John Park. I hope you have a really safe and wonderful day. Bye, everybody.
입술을 깨물며 몇 번이고 다짐하지만 흐르는 눈물까진 잡지 못합니다. 그댈 사랑하려 했던 것이 잘못입니다. 나는 내 주제를 모르는 바보랍니다. 이리 높은 벽에 둘러싸인 그대에 비해 난 아무것도 못 가진 절부집니다. 사랑이란 그 말이 너무 달콤해서 영원히 빛나리라 믿었습니다. 하지만 꿈처럼 설레던 날이 지나니 앙상하게 내 모습만 남았습니다. 그댈 사랑하려 했던 것이 잘못입니다. 나는 내 주제를 모르는 바보랍니다. 이리 높은 벽에 둘러싸인 그대에 비해 난 아무것도 못 가진 절부지입니다. 잘못입니다.